tonight we're going to look at the two most user-friendly functions of the subconscious mind. Your self-image and your automatic functioning, okay? These two things, the reason I picked them is because they're very user-friendly. We're going to be able to get up to speed with those really quick, and you guys are going to be able to take away some skills that you can use to actually apply to your life. So let's start with your self-image. This is a very, very interesting and very, very powerful aspect. The first thing I'd like you to do is if you could just close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to just picture yourself the way you think another person might picture you, as if a third party was looking at you. So close your eyes and just picture yourself the way a third party might be looking at you. Imagine that you walk to one side, or maybe you walk to the other side. You're just looking at the different angles, okay? Get those details in your mind. Fix that image, fix that visual in your mind, and go ahead and open your eyes. Okay. Now, think about that picture you came up with, and think about the impressions that you get from that picture. Think about the impressions you get from that picture. Whether you believe it or not, those impressions are going to have a massive impact on the decisions you make, on whether or not you're going to achieve your goals, and even on the shape and the course of your whole life. Now, let's try something else. If you don't mind, go ahead and close your eyes one more time. Now, I want you to think of something you would love to do, something you would love to achieve, something you would love to be, something you would love to have. And I want you to just imagine you already have it. You're already being it. You're already doing it. Really feel those feelings. And now, zoom out a little bit and look at yourself now. Look at the way another person would look at you when you have those things, when you're doing those things, when you're being those things. And walk to one side, walk to the other side, get those details. Fix that image in your mind, and go ahead and open your eyes now. Now, how many people had two pretty different pictures? Anybody have two different? Okay. All right. All right. It's not uncommon to have two very different pictures. That image has a lot of power. For instance, if you see yourself as successful and you're going to be financially successful, you're competent, you're happy, if you see yourself like a tremendous success, it's not going to matter how many times you fail, how many times people tell you you're a loser, anything like that. You're just going to look at each of those as a temporary setback. Deep in your mind, you're just going to think that's a temporary setback, temporary, because you're headed for that vision of success. On the other hand, let's say that you want to lose weight, and you have an image of yourself in your mind as being overweight. Well, it's not going to matter how many diets you go on. It's not going to matter how many exercise programs you go on. Your mind is going to find a way to pull you back, to make your experience consistent with that picture, okay? We're not talking about magic. It's just that filtering process. If you have that picture in your mind, the brain is going to pull things forward that validate that support it, and make your experience consistent with that picture, because humans don't like that inconsistency. Now, so can you see how it's kind of like an internal GPS? This self-image is kind of like an internal GPS. This GPS can also be applied to a goal. If you really think and imagine and visually, focus and concentrate on a goal and make it very real to you, believe me, your mind will start bringing things forward to your awareness to help you make it consistent, make your experience consistent with that. It could be you just start noticing things in a conversation. It could be that you just notice something in a newspaper. It could be that you have an insight, that it just bubbles up from your subconscious mind. Somehow it puts these pieces together, and it doesn't. It's not magic. It's your brain at work. So now, unfortunately, sometimes the mind can lock onto something that's not that helpful. Okay, and I think everybody, all of us have had this experience. Sometimes we obsess about something that happened in the past. Sometimes we worry about something that happened in the future. Anybody ever have that experience? Okay. Given what I've told you so far, can you see how if you do that and you really focus on that thing that you're obsessing about in the past, or you're worried about that thing in the future, can you see how you could get more of that exact same thing that you're worried about? It's very easy to get caught in that kind of a cycle. But the good news is it's actually very easy to move your mind in a different direction. It's just that most people never take the trouble to do it. Most people just drift along, and they're just buffeted along by whatever advertisement, by whatever comment that somebody makes, or what their parents told them. They never take the trouble to do it. But if you take a few simple steps, develop these skills, you can move your mind in a different direction. Okay, so